Hello and welcome back to our Nullitaire playthrough of Love Letter. And once again, Nullitaire here means we're playing with 0 players. That is to say, we are playing bots against each other. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, I highly recommend that before watching this video. It's going to be hard to know what's going on in this video if you haven't seen that one. So check that one out first if you haven't seen this one. All right, let's carry on with our game from where we left off last time. Before moving on with the game, though, I need to correct a mistake from the last video. A viewer from the last video, Dumas811, pointed out a mistake I made. DovBot is holding a 4 that is compromised since TrickieBot and DovBot exchanged or traded cards. Yeah, that's right. I made that mistake. So I've rewound the game. I've reset up the hand, the last hand from last round, and I've gone back to this position. So the deck is even set up exactly as it was during that game. And right here is where I made the mistake. So it was DovBot's turn, holding the 4-3. And the 4-3, first of all, says C4. So that means if the 4 has been compromised, play it. And the 4 was compromised, right? Because TrickieBot knew that DovBot was holding the 4. They just exchanged cards because of the king. TrickieBot played the king and gave the 4 to DovBot. So TrickieBot over there knows that DovBot's holding that 4. So what DovBot should have done, given the programming, is play that 4. But that's not what I did. I said, that no card here is compromised, so moving on. And then DovBot ended up playing the 3. Interestingly, that play of the 3 actually turned out to be better, a better play, because DovBot knows that TrickieBot's holding a 3. So playing the 3 and then getting TrickieBot out, right, who is holding a 3, compared to the 4, TrickieBot would be out. And TrickieBot's the one who knows that DovBot's holding the 4. So the compromise of the 4 card wasn't an issue. Still, DovBot as written is not that sophisticated. And DovBot is meant to be a very defensive player. And tends to be very scared of holding on to a card that someone else knows is in its hand. So let's go back to this position and let's play it the way DovBot really would play it. And that is to say, let's play the 4. Okay, so that means that how this should have gone is that DovBot plays the 4 and is immune to being targeted for the rest of this hand. Okay, so let's just play it from here now and see what actually happens in this hand. Okay, Hawkbot's turn is next, and holding the 5-1. So the 5-1 says, first of all, if the 5 has been compromised, play it. Then it hasn't. Then if you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Don't know where the 8 is, then play the 1. Okay, so Hawkbot's going to play the 1. And here's the thing. Hawkbot knows that TrickieBot is holding the 3. Because Hawkbot used the 2 and saw that DovBot was holding the 3, and then saw that DovBot switched hands with TrickieBot when TrickieBot played the 6. So, playing the guard here, choose the player you know most about. Okay, so choose TrickieBot because you know exactly what the card is. And then the card number, choose the number you know. If you know it, choose that. So Hawkbot says, TrickieBot, you're holding a 3, and that is correct. So TrickieBot is out of the round. Okay, that's Hawkbot's turn. Now it's Ravenbot's turn. Because TrickieBot is out, Ravenbot gets the last card, which is the Princess. And so, of course, we'll play the 1. But, of course, it's not really going to matter because since this is the last card, we're going to get a showdown. But let's just make sure we play it out properly. So choose a player you know most about. Ravenbot doesn't know anything about anybody, so just the player to the right. And as a matter of fact, Ravenbot can't target DovBot here, so it's got to be Hawkbot. the only player that can be targeted. Okay, so first choose a number with 2 unseen cards. First in this list, 3, 4, 5, 2. All right, well, we've pretty much seen everything in that, at least one card for everyone in that list. So we've seen the 4, the 3, the 2. Well, no, I haven't seen any princes, actually. Well, that's surprising. Okay, no princes. So Ravenbot will say, Hawkbot, I think you're holding the prince. And that turns out to be true. Okay, so Hawkbot is out on the play of the guard. All right, now it's showdown time. And that means Ravenbot wins, which is actually what happened last time. Even though I made a mistake playing Dovebot, it didn't actually turn out to matter. Ravenbot gets the token of affection in this case. Okay, on to the next hand. Ravenbot is up first for winning the last hand, and starts with a 3-1. So obviously play the 1 in that case. And that means choosing the player to the right, because there's no knowledge right now. And the highest, the first number on this list, 3, 4, 5, 2. Focus. With 2 unseen cards. Okay, well, Ravenbot can see a 3 because it's holding 1. So 4 is the next priority. So Ravenbot will play the 1 and say, Turkeybot, I think you're holding the 4. Nope, Turkeybot's card is a 2. Dovebot's turn is next, and the hand is a 2-1. So Dovebot will want to play the 1 if it knows someone's number, but it doesn't. So it'll play the 2 instead. All right, so play the priest. And that means choose a player that it knows the least about. Well, it doesn't know anything about anybody. So it will just choose randomly from the other 3 players. The roll is a 1, which gives Ravenbot. So now Dovebot knows that Ravenbot is holding a 3. Hawkbot is next, and it's the dreaded early princess. Okay, so obviously have to play the 1 in this case. So choose a player you know the most about. Well, Hawkbot doesn't know anything about anybody, so first to the right. Okay, so we'll choose Dovebot in this case, to the right. And the highest number, 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. Okay, well, Hawkbot can't see this card. That's Dovebot's hand. Okay, well, there's no 5 has been seen by Hawkbot, so that's the highest number, 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. So Hawkbot will say, Dovebot, I think you're holding the 5, and of course, that's not true, it's a 1. Okay, so everybody knows now, though, that Dovebot is not holding a 5. So we'll update the public knowledge, not a 5. Okay, on to Turkeybot's turn. Turkeybot has a 5-2. I've decided that when a card is compromised, I will put it on its side like that to remind me of that fact, so that I hopefully don't make the same mistake I made in the last hand. So the 2 is compromised here because Ravenbot knows that Turkeybot's holding a 2. Okay, so 5-2. Turkeybot says, well, if either one is compromised, play it. Okay, so that's easy. The priest has been compromised, so just play it. Okay. And of course, choose the player you know the least about. Well, Turkeybot doesn't know anything in particular about anyone, but there is some public knowledge. Everyone knows that the Dovebot is not holding the 5. Okay, so Turkeybot wants to choose between the other 2. He wants to choose someone he knows even less about. So he'll choose either Ravenbot or Hawkbot, and he'll do that randomly. The roll is a 4, which means Hawkbot now has given up the information that it's holding the princess to Turkeybot. So Turkeybot now knows that Hawkbot is holding that princess. Okay, that's an 8. Okay, on to Ravenbot's turn. So Ravenbot has a 5-3. Again, I put the 3 sideways there because it is compromised in this case. Dovebot knows that that Ravenbot has a 3. Okay, so 5-3. So first, play the 5 if it's compromised. It isn't. If you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Okay, Ravenbot does not know where the 8 is. Only the Turkeybot knows that. Otherwise, just play the 3. Okay, so that'll take care of this compromise issue. So play the 3. And now, with the 3, if you know someone's number is less than yours, choose them. Well, Ravenbot doesn't know that. Doesn't know anyone's number. The only information that Ravenbot has is it knows that the Dovebot is not holding a 5. That's it. That's all it knows. Okay, so not that. Do not choose someone you know to be holding a number greater than your hand. Okay, well, doesn't know that. Then choose a player who knows your hand. Well, someone does know. No, that's not true. Dovebot doesn't know Ravenbot's hand anymore because it just played the 3. Okay, so that's not the case. Okay, so actually, none of those priorities actually helped. So Ravenbot is just going to choose randomly between these 3. Well, Ravenbot should hope not to choose Hawkbot, or else it's definitely going to be out here. But let's see how it goes. Oh man, bummer. So that actually is Hawkbot. So it would have been 1-2 Dovebot, 3-4 Hawkbot, 5-6 Turkeybot. I just go in order, from that player's position. Okay, so that is Hawkbot. So Hawkbot shows Ravenbot in the hand, says, okay, you're out. Okay, so Ravenbot's out. That's actually pretty bad for Hawkbot now, because everybody at the table now has the public information that Hawkbot is holding higher than a 5. So Hawkbot has to be holding either the king, the countess, or the princess. Okay, on to Dovebot's turn. Dovebot has a 7-1. So 7-1. Play the 7 if it's compromised. It is not. If you know someone's number, play the 1. Okay, well, Dovebot used to know that Ravenbot was holding a 3, but that's not useful anymore because Ravenbot is out now. Okay, so just play the 7 then. So Dovebot will just play the 7, which does nothing, and that's the end of Dovebot's turn. So the Hawk gets very lucky here. Because the princess is definitely compromised. I mean, the Turkeybot knows that Hawkbot is holding the 8, and Dovebot's certainly suspicious because it knows that Hawkbot's hand is higher than a 5. So this is a good time to have a handmaid for some protection. Okay, so Hawkbot plays the 4 and can't be targeted for the rest of the round. Turkeybot has a 5-3. So looking at the instructions here, it says if either card is compromised, play it. That's not the case here. Then if you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Well, this is an interesting situation because Turkeybot does know where the 8 is. Knows that Hawkbot is holding it. But Hawkbot can't be targeted because of the handmaid. So I think we need to read the K8 as saying something more like, if you know where the 8 is and that player can be targeted, then play the 5. Okay, so let's understand K8. Let's understand the K to mean that. I didn't really think of this issue when I made these bots, but that seems to be the right way to interpret this. So let's do that. So K8 means if you know where the 8 is and can target that player, then play the 5. Okay, and that's not the case here. All right, so just play one randomly. All right, so we'll have to roll to see which card Turkeybot plays. The roll is a 3, so Turkeybot will play the lower card, which means the Baron. Okay, so I have to compare hands with another player. The only player that can be targeted for this is Dovebot. So Turkeybot says, I compare hands with you, and that means that that Dovebot is out of the hand. Okay. On to Hawkbot's turn, because both Ravenbot and Dovebot are out. Hawkbot draws a guard. Of course, the princess is compromised. Not that Not that Hawkbot can do anything about that, but that is the case because TurkeyBot knows the hand. Okay, so Hawkbot clearly has to play the guard here. Okay, so choose a player you know the most about. Well, there's only one player to choose because TurkeyBot's the only other player in right now. Okay, if you know so under card now, if you know the number, choose it. Okay, well, Hawkbot doesn't know exactly what card TurkeyBot's holding. The only info that Hawkbot has is that TurkeyBot's card is greater than a 1. So Hawkbot knows that TurkeyBot's not holding a 1 simply because the Baron was just used to get out a 1. So TurkeyBot's card obviously has to be greater than 1. Okay, so that's all that Hawkbot knows here. So choose the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Well, there's a prince showing there. There's a handmaid showing there. There's a baron showing there, and there's a priest showing there. Okay. So there are none of those cards that don't have at least one card showing. So failing that, choose the highest unseen card. Okay, well, Hawkbot has seen the 8 and has seen the 7. Has Hawkbot seen the 6? No. So Hawkbot will say, TurkeyBot, I think you got the king. Nope. Not the king. All right, well, that's really bad news for Hawkbot because that prince over there is probably about to be a problem for Hawkbot. All right, TurkeyBot's turn. TurkeyBot has a 6-5. So if either card is compromised, play it. That's not the case. If you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Okay, well, TurkeyBot knows where the 8 is, so simply plays the 5 and says, Hawkbot, discard your hand. Okay, so Hawkbot's out. Okay, TurkeyBot wins this round. Okay, TurkeyBot starts out the next hand, and it's TurkeyBot's turn to be stuck with the early princess again this time. Okay, so obviously has to play the prince, and so this case, if you know where the 8 is, well, you know where the 8 is, but don't want to choose yourself, obviously. If your hand's an 8, then choose someone you know is holding a 5, or failing that, someone you know is holding a 1. Well, TurkeyBot doesn't know anything about anyone else's hand, so we'll simply choose randomly from the other 3 players. The roll is a 1, so Ravenbot is the choice. Ravenbot has to discard the hand, which is the Countess, and then draw a new card. Ravenbot's turn, it's the guard, so play the guard, obviously. So choose a player you know the most about. Nobody knows anything right now. So choose a player to the right. Okay, so Ravenbot will choose TurkeyBot in this case. All right, don't know anyone's number, so we go with the number with 2 unseen cards and first in this list. Okay, so there have not, Ravenbot has not seen 2 3s. Okay, princess should be hidden right now. Has not seen 2 3s, and that's the first number on the list. So Ravenbot will say, TurkeyBot, I think you're holding the 3, and of course that's not the case because it's the princess. Okay. So that's Ravenbot's turn. Dovebot's turn, and it's a 4-1. So 4-1 says if you know someone's number, play the 1. Dovebot doesn't know anyone's number. Otherwise, just play the 4. Okay, so Dovebot plays the 4. And that means cannot be targeted for the rest of this round. Hawkbot's turn, and it's a 6-3. 6-3 says if you know where a 1 is, play the 6. Okay. Hawkbot does not know where a 1 is. Otherwise, just play the 3. Okay. So the 3 in this case. Hawkbot's going to take a chance that the 6 is higher than some other player's hand. Okay. So the 3 says if you know that someone's hand is lower than yours, choose that person. Okay, Hawkbot doesn't know that. Doesn't have any knowledge other than the fact that TurkeyBot is not holding a 3, which is public knowledge. Okay, do not choose someone you know to be holding a hand higher than yours, obviously. And lastly, a player who knows your hand. Okay, so none of that actually came into effect. So Hawkbot is just going to choose randomly between TurkeyBot and RavenBot. Cannot choose DoveBot because of the handmade. So they're going to roll on that, and it's a 50-50 shot. Bummer for Hawkbot. The roll is a 1, so that means it chooses TurkeyBot, who is about to knock Hawkbot out. Okay, so Hawkbot is out. The king goes away, and that means that everybody now knows that TurkeyBot is holding the 8, because obviously the card has to be greater than the 6, and the 7's already gone. It's over there. So everyone knows that TurkeyBot is holding the 8 now. TurkeyBot draws a priest, so obviously has to play the priest. And there's only one player who can be targeted, because Hawkbot is out and DoveBot is protected by the handmaid. So TurkeyBot gets to see RavenBot's card, which is a guard. Okay, that's the end of TurkeyBot's turn. RavenBot's turn now. It's a 2-1. So looking at 2-1. If you know someone's number, play the 1. Well, RavenBot does know someone's number because everybody knows that the turkey's holding the 8. Okay. So RavenBot will play the 1 and say, TurkeyBot, I think you've got that princess. And that means that TurkeyBot is out. Okay, that's RavenBot's turn. Well, it's DoveBot's favorite card again, the handmaid. So I'm almost certainly going to play that. Let's see the 4-1. If you know someone's number, play the 1. TurkeyBot does not know anyone's number. So play the 4. So once again, DoveBot cannot be targeted for the rest of the hand. Or sorry, for the rest of the round. Okay, Hawkbot and TurkeyBot are both out, so we're back to RavenBot's turn. RavenBot has a 3-2. So it says if you know someone's holding a 1, play the 3. Well, it turns out that DoveBot is holding a 1, but RavenBot doesn't know that fact. So play the 2. Okay. So play the 2, but the thing is, that does nothing because DoveBot's the only player still in the game, and they're protected by a handmaid. So I guess RavenBot can look at their own card. But that's it. The priest doesn't do anything. Okay, DoveBot's turn. DoveBot has a 5-1, which turns out to be the one of the most complicated hands for DoveBot. So here are the instructions. If the 5 is compromised, play it. That's not the case. If you know where the 8 is, play the 5. That's not the case. If you know someone's number, play the 1. That's not the case. Otherwise, just play the 5. Okay, well, play the 5. Prince. And let's see the procedures here. So we have to choose a player to discard their hand. If you know someone's holding the 8, choose them. Don't know that. If your hand is an 8, that's not the case. If your hand is 4 through 7, or a player knows your hand, choose yourself. That's not the case. So none of that is the case. So DoveBot will simply choose randomly from the other players, but there's only one player left, which is RavenBot. So RavenBot has to discard their hand and draw a new card. And that turns out to be the last card of the deck. Oh boy. 1-1. Okay, actually I had to look up the rules on this because I'd forgotten what happens when there's a tie at the showdown at the end of a round. So just looking at the rules. In case of a tie, players add the numbers on the cards in their discard pile. The highest total wins. Okay, so we compare the discard piles now, and the highest total wins. Well, DoveBot has a 13, and RavenBot has a 14. So just barely, RavenBot wins the hand. RavenBot goes first in the next hand, and now it's RavenBot's turn to start with the early princess. Okay, and by the way, this is a 4-player game, so it's the first to 4 tokens of affection who wins. So RavenBot has 2 right now, DoveBot has 1, Hawkbot has 0, and TurkeyBot has 1. Okay, so obviously RavenBot has to play the guard, and since they don't know much of anything about anybody, we'll simply choose the player to the right, which will be TurkeyBot, and guess the 3. because there are no 3s seen so far. So, TurkeyBot, do you have a 3? No. All right. That's RavenBot's turn. DoveBot has the guard. So obviously I have to play a guard. There is a little bit of knowledge now. Everybody knows that TurkeyBot does not have a 3. So DoveBot will choose TurkeyBot here, and we'll guess the highest number 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards, which is the 5, and that means TurkeyBot will now be out. Okay, that's DoveBot's turn. Hawkbot has the 2-1 Priest Guard. So that says play the Priest if it's compromised. It isn't. Otherwise, play the 1. Okay, so Hawkbot, in true hawkish fashion, plays the guard and just wants to take a guess. Try to get someone out. Okay, so first the player you know the most about. Hawkbot doesn't know anything about anybody anymore. Yeah. So choose the player to the right. Okay, so DoveBot. If you know the card, choose it. Hawkbot doesn't. So the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Okay, well 5 has, we've seen a card with 5. No one has seen a 4. Okay, so Hawkbot says, DoveBot, I think you're holding a 4. That's not the case. Okay, that's Hawkbot's turn. TurkeyBot is out, so RavenBot is next and gets the Handmaid. Nice time for that. Protect that princess with the Handmaid. Okay, so that's RavenBot's turn. DoveBot gets a 7-1. So that says if the 7's compromised, play it. It isn't. So if you know someone's number, play the 1. DoveBot does not know anyone's number, so play the 7. Okay, and the 7 doesn't do anything. So that's the end of DoveBot's turn. Hawkbot has a 6-2 King Priest. So we see if the 6 is compromised, play it. It isn't. If you know someone's holding a 1, play the 6. Do not. Otherwise, just play the 2. Okay, so Hawkbot plays the 2 and looks at someone's hand. Well, the only person that can be targeted here is DoveBot because RavenBot has the Handmaid. So Hawkbot gets to take a peek and sees that DoveBot is holding a guard. RavenBot's turn again, and wow, talk about lucky. Got another Handmaid, so gets protection for another round. Okay, DoveBot's turn. Okay, DoveBot's turn, and they have a 3-1. And that means just play the 1. Okay, so play the 1. Okay, and the only one player can be targeted here because of the Handmaid, so DoveBot has to choose Hawkbot in this case. Doesn't know the number, so has to go the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Well, actually, there isn't any such number because we've seen a 5, seen a 4, seen a 3 because DoveBot's holding 1, and seen a 2. Okay, so the next priority is just the highest unseen card, which for DoveBot is the 8. DoveBot has not seen the princess, so we'll say, Hawkbot, I think you're holding the princess. That's not the case. Okay, that's DoveBot's turn. Hawkbot is holding a 6-3, the King Baron. And there we see, if you know someone's holding a 1, play the 6. Well, Hawkbot used to know someone was holding a 1, namely DoveBot, but DoveBot just played a 1, so that knowledge is now obsolete. Okay, so not that. The next priority is just play the 3. Okay, so Hawkbot will play the 3, and there's only one person who can be targeted here. That's DoveBot because of the Handmaid, so they will compare hands, and the lowest number is out, and that means DoveBot is out. Okay, that's the Hawkbot's turn. RavenBot has the 8-5, so obviously the 5 must be played in this case. So the prince requires someone to discard their hand. RavenBot obviously does not want to target itself. Let's just make sure. Choose someone he knows holding an 8. Ravenbot's holding the 8, so there's nobody else. If you're holding the 8, choose someone you know is holding a 5, or failing that, someone you know is holding a 1. Well, Ravenbot doesn't know anyone else's hand. Okay. If a player knows your hand, choose yourself, unless, of course, you're holding the 8. Okay. Well, none of that is the case. So Ravenbot just chooses randomly from everybody who it can choose, and there's only one, so Hawkbot has to discard that king and draw the last card, and now it's a showdown. The Ravenbot wins. Somehow was able to hold that princess for the whole hand. Well, it was really because of those 2 handmaids. Okay, so Ravenbot now has 3 tokens of affection. So Ravenbot has 3 tokens of affection now. One more and it wins the game. So, start of a new hand. Ravenbot goes first for winning the last hand. Starts with a 2-1. So the 2-1. If you know someone's number, play the 1. Obviously that's not the case, so play the 2. Okay, so the 2. And of course choose whoever you know the least about. That's not relevant here because there's no knowledge, so choose randomly. The roll is a 3, so that will be Hawkbot. So Ravenbot takes a peek at Hawkbot's hand, and it's a guard. Okay, Dovebot's turn. Dovebot has a 3-1. So play the 1. Okay. Play the 1. And choose a player you know most about. Dovebot doesn't know anything about anybody. So just go to the right. Okay, so we'll choose Ravenbot here. And if you know their number, choose it. Dovebot doesn't know the number. So the highest number 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. All right, well, the 3 is the only card in that range that Dovebot's seen. So Dovebot's going to say 5 for Ravenbot, and that's not the case. Okay, so that's the Dovebot's turn. Hawkbot now has a 5-1, and that one's been compromised, so I put it to the side because Ravenbot knows about that 1. The thing about 1s, though, is that it's not that big a deal to have a compromised 1 in your hand, and that's because the guard can't guess another guard. So the only thing you really have to worry about is a 3. If someone has a 3 in their hand, well then, knowing you have a 1, they can target you with even a low card like a 2. But there's only 2 3s in the deck, right? Where there are 5 guards, so it actually minimizes the issue of having a compromised card if your compromised card is a 1. So it's not as big a deal. Okay, and I took that into account when making these bots. Okay, so a 5-1, going down the list here, says if the 5's been compromised, play it. That's not the case. If you know where the 8 is, that's not the case. Okay, so just play the 1. All right, well, anyway, play the 1. Okay, so choose a player you know the most about. Right now, that's Ravenbot, because everybody knows that Ravenbot's not holding a 5. That's because Dovebot just guessed that the hand before. So everybody knows that Ravenbot's not holding a 5. Okay, so choose Ravenbot here. And if you know the number, choose it. Do not know the number. Highest number 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. Okay, well, we know that Ravenbot's not holding a 5, and Hawkbot has a 5 anyway, but no 4s have been seen by Hawkbot. So Hawkbot's going to guess 4. Guess that Ravenbot's holding a 4, and that's not the case. Okay, so that's Hawkbot's turn. Turkeybot's turn now. It's a 3-2. And that gives, see, if you know where a 1 is, play the 3. Turkeybot does not know where a 1 is, so just play the 2. Okay. So Turkeybot plays the 2. And that means choose someone you know least about. Well, everybody knows that Ravenbot has neither the 5 or the 4. So Turkeybot would rather have a look at Dovebot or Hawkbot's card. And so we'll choose randomly between those 2. The roll is a 5, so that means Hawkbot. So Turkeybot takes a look and sees the prince there. Okay, that's Turkeybot's turn. Ravenbot is next and has a 5-1. That is, okay, let's see. So if the 5 is compromised, play it. I don't believe it is. No, nobody knows that Ravenbot's holding 5. Okay, if you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Doesn't know where the 8 is. If you know anybody's number, play the 1. Nope, doesn't know anyone's number. All right, so just play the 5. So the prince is to play. And let's see. If you know where the 8 is, choose that. Don't know that. If your hand is an 8, hand's not an 8, it's a 1. If a player knows your hand, no other player knows a hand. Okay, so it's just going to be random for this choice of a player to discard their hand. The roll is a 1, so that's Dovebot. We'll have to discard that Baron, draw a new card. Okay, that's Ravenbot's turn. Dovebot has the guard, so obviously play guard. Okay, choose a player you know most about. Dovebot doesn't know anything about anybody, so we'll just go to the right. Choose Ravenbot. Okay, choose a card you know, doesn't know. So highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. All right, well, there's a 5 seen that Dovebot can see. There's a 3, and there's a 2 over there. But Dovebot has not seen any 4s. So Dovebot says, it's probably Ravenbot is holding a 4. Let's see. Got a 4? No. Okay. So that's Dovebot's turn. Well, this is some bad news for Hawkbot. That prince is compromised because TurkeyBot saw it last round with the priest, but now the draw was countess. That's pretty bad because obviously if you have this card with the king or the prince, you got to discard this card. So the rules require playing the countess in this case. So Hawkbot's just sitting there, very vulnerable. So let's see if TurkeyBot will take out the hawk. Well, Hawkbot got kind of lucky. TurkeyBot does not have the ability to take him out with a 4-3 draw. Okay, so let's see what TurkeyBot's going to do. 4-3, well, yeah, it's just the C/R. Okay, neither of these cards is compromised, so it's going to be a random choice between these two cards. The roll is a 1, so TurkeyBot's going to play the lower card, which is the Baron. Okay. So with the Baron, choose someone you know is holding a card lower than you. Well, TurkeyBot doesn't know anyone holding a card lower. The only card he knows is the 5 over with Hawkbot. Obviously, don't want to choose that person. In fact, the second priority here comes into effect. Do not choose someone you know holding a card higher than yours. Okay, so Hawkbot is ruled out from consideration. So now only Dovebot and Ravenbot are possible targets. And then a player who knows your hand. Well, nobody knows TurkeyBot's hand. Okay, so it's going to be a random choice between Ravenbot and Dovebot. It's a 3, so that'll be the earlier player in the rotation, so that'll be Ravenbot. Okay, so comparing hands, TurkeyBot wins. Ravenbot is out. Okay, so not going to be able to win the game this hand. All right, that's TurkeyBot's turn. Ravenbot is out, so the next player is Dovebot, and there's the princess. Okay, so Dovebot has to play the guard. So choose a player you know most about. Dovebot doesn't know anything special, except there's a little bit of public knowledge. Everyone knows that TurkeyBot has a card that's greater than 1. That's because the Baron was just used to knock out a guard by TurkeyBot. So TurkeyBot's card has to be something higher than 1. Okay, so that's something. So, so Dovebot is going to choose TurkeyBot here. That's the player that it knows the most about. Card, well, choose the card. If you know their number, just choose it, but Dovebot doesn't know their number, so the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. All right, well, a 5 has been seen by Dovebot, a 3 has been seen, but no 4s have been seen. Okay. and a two's been seen over there. So Dovbot's going to say, TurkeyBot, I think you're holding the handmade, and that's exactly right. So TurkeyBot is out. Okay, that's Dovbot's turn. So Hawkbot got really lucky. That 5 is no longer compromised because TurkeyBot was forced out of the hand. Okay, so Hawkbot gets the 6-5, and this is the last card of the round, by the way. So after this round, there'll be a showdown if Hawkbot doesn't find a way to get Dovbot out. Okay, so the 6-5. Okay, it says if you know someone's holding a 1, play the 6. We don't know that. Otherwise, play the 5. All right. Well, this is gonna get Dovbot out for sure. Okay, so we play the 5. The procedure is if you know someone's holding the 8, we don't know that. If you're holding an 8, we're not. If a player knows your hand, choose yourself. No. So none of that was relevant. So we just choose randomly from whoever's left. There's only one player left. That's the Dovbot. So the Dovbot has to discard their hand, and they're out. Okay, so Hawkbot wins the round. That means everybody has at least one token of affection now. Starting a new round now. Hawkbot goes first because Hawkbot won the last round. And starts with a 7-2. So 7-2 says if the 7's compromised, play it. It isn't. Otherwise, play the 2. Okay, so the 2 is the play for Hawkbot here. And so choose a player you know least about. Well, it's just the beginning, so don't know anything about any of these other bots. So we'll just choose randomly between these 3. The roll is a 3, so that means Ravenbot. Hawkbot gets to take a peek and sees a guard. Okay, that's Hawkbot's turn. TurkeyBot has the King Prince. So 6-5. We see if either is compromised, play it. No, that's not the case. If you know where the 8 is, play the 5. That's not the case. Otherwise, just play a random one of these cards. Okay, so TurkeyBot will roll on that to see which card to play. The roll is a 3. So TurkeyBot will play the lower card, just the 5. So let's look at the procedure. If you know where the 8 is, no, don't know that. If your hand's an 8, nope, that's not the case either. Okay, so TurkeyBot will just choose randomly from the other 3 players. The roll is a 6, and that's Hawkbot. Hawkbot has to discard the hand, just the Countess, and draw a new card. By the way, it's worth noting that with the Prince, it is possible to choose yourself to discard your hand. But the way I wrote these bots, I took it for granted that they would only choose themselves with the Prince if they were explicitly told to do so. They would never sort of consider themselves in a random determination. Okay, and there are some places where the Prince does target the individual bot. Okay, so there are some like that. TurkeyBot is just not one of them. TurkeyBot never selects itself with the Prince. Okay, so that's TurkeyBot's turn. Ravenbot draws the Princess. So if Ravenbot can hold on to that till the end of the hand, that might be the game. So we'll have to see if it can. Okay, so the guard is the obvious play. So choose a player you know most about. Well, there's really no knowledge of anybody right now, not even public knowledge. So just go to the right. Okay, so Ravenbot is going to choose TurkeyBot here. Card, well, we don't, Ravenbot doesn't know TurkeyBot's card. So number with 2 unseen cards and first in this list, 3, 4, 5, or 2. All right, well, I don't see any 3s. That is to say Ravenbot doesn't see any 3s. So that'll be the choice. Ravenbot says, TurkeyBot, I think you're holding a 3. And we know that's not the case. That should be a king, yeah. Okay, so that's Ravenbot's turn. Dovbot now has a 4-1. That's almost certainly going to be a handmade play. Okay, so if you know someone's card, play the 1, otherwise the 4. Yeah. Dovbot loves the handmade. Dovbot's favorite card. The most defensive card in the game. Okay, so that means Dovbot cannot be targeted for the rest of the round. Hawkbot now has a 3-1, and of course the play will be the 1. And 3 would be a very bad play at this juncture. Okay, so the 1. Choose a player you know the most about. Well, actually Hawkbot does know a little bit because everybody knows TurkeyBot's not holding a 3. Ravenbot guessed that on its turn. So that's a little bit of information that Hawkbot has on TurkeyBot. So that's the choice here. TurkeyBot will be the choice. Okay, the card. If you know the card, choose it. Don't know the card. So highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. All right. Well, the 5. We can see a 5. We can see a 4. We can see a 3, and also we know TurkeyBot's not holding a 3, and we can see a 2. Okay. So on to the next priority. Just the highest unseen card. Well, that's the princess. No one, Hawkbot has not seen the princess. So Hawkbot would say, TurkeyBot, I think you've got the princess. And that's not the case. Okay, that's Hawkbot's turn. TurkeyBot now has the 6-3 King Baron. And it's going to be a random choice, of course. Neither card is compromised. So TurkeyBot will just choose randomly between these two. The roll is a 1, which means the lower card will be played, and that's the Baron. Okay. So the Baron, choose someone you know holding a card lower than your hand. TurkeyBot doesn't know anyone. Rule out anyone you know holding a card higher than your hand. No, TurkeyBot doesn't know that either. And choose any player who knows your hand. Well, no players know TurkeyBot's hand. So now it's just going to be a random choice between Ravenbot and Hawkbot. Dovebot has the handmaid in play, so it's not available as a choice here. All right, well, if TurkeyBot chooses Ravenbot, then TurkeyBot will be out because Ravenbot is holding the princess. But if TurkeyBot chooses Hawkbot instead, then it'll still be in because TurkeyBot's holding the 3. Okay, so let's see what the roll is. Well, TurkeyBot gets lucky here. Gets the higher number, so it'll be Hawkbot. In this case, compare hands with TurkeyBot, and that means Hawkbot is out. Okay, that's TurkeyBot's turn. Ravenbot's turn, and it's a lucky break. Once again, the handmaid with the princess. So Ravenbot gets to have some defense for the rest of the round. Dovebot has a 2-1. So let's see. If you know someone's card, play the 1. No, Dovebot doesn't know anyone's card. Otherwise, play the 2. Okay, so the priest will be the play here. Who will they look at? Whoever they know the least about. Well, Dovebot doesn't know anything special, but there is some public knowledge. Everyone knows the turkey is holding a card higher than 3. And that's because whatever card they had was used to knock out A3 using the Baron. So TurkeyBot's card is at least a 4. Okay, so it does know that and wants to choose someone they know the least about. So would prefer to choose Hawkbot, but Hawkbot's out, or Ravenbot, but Ravenbot is protected. So actually, ends up choosing TurkeyBot anyway to take a look at their card. Okay, so sees that it's a 6th. Okay, that's the end of Dovebot's turn. TurkeyBot now has the 6-1. Oh, and by the way, the 6 is compromised here because Dovebot just took a look at it. But still, the 6-1 is the 6 is such a bad play with a hand like this. Because again, you end up giving the guard to someone, and that person is going to know exactly what your hand is because they're going to give you their guard. So the 6 is such a bad play here that TurkeyBot just plays the 1. It just doesn't care that the king's been compromised. Okay, so guard. Choose a player you know most about. Well, TurkeyBot doesn't know anything about anybody. So first to the right. Okay, so that means choose Dovebot here. Okay. TurkeyBot doesn't know the card, so a random number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Okay, well there's at least there's a 5, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's a 4. Okay, so we move on to the next priority. Random number that has 1 unseen card. Okay, well we haven't. TurkeyBot has not seen the princess. Has seen the countess. Has seen the king. I think there's a prince still out there. Okay, so there's 1 prince out there. Both the handmaids are gone. Both the barons are gone. Both the priests are gone. Okay, so really it's a choice between the princess and, let's see, countess, king, and a prince. Yeah, there's 1 more prince out there. So either the princess or a prince. So it's going to choose one of those 2 randomly and guess that Dovebot is holding it. So it's going to roll to choose randomly between those 2. The roll is a 5, which is the higher number. So TurkeyBot will guess that Dovebot is holding the princess, which it is not. Okay, that's the end of TurkeyBot's turn. Okay, so RavenBot is holding the 8-1, and it is the last card of the hand, which means that RavenBot is definitely going to win this round and win the entire game. All right, but let's just play it out. The hand will be the play will be the guard. Choose who you know the most about. Well, it's an interesting thing that RavenBot still, actually everybody at the table still knows that TurkeyBot is holding a hand that's greater than 3. And that's because on TurkeyBot's last turn, it played a 1. So that can't be the card that it had in its hand at the beginning of its turn. That must be the one it drew. Because it had to have had a card greater than 3 before its turn. So RavenBot still knows that TurkeyBot is holding a 4 or better. Okay. And now it says, if you know their number, just choose it. Well, actually, I think... No. RavenBot doesn't know. It's still possible TurkeyBot could be holding a guard, I think. Okay, number with 2 unseen cards, and first in this list, 3, 4, 5, 2. Well, again, all of those cards have been seen at least once. Okay, so the next priority, number with 1 unseen card, and first in this list, the 8. Well, RavenBot's holding the 8. The 6. Okay, well, have not seen the 6. So, TurkeyBot, you're holding the 6. That's right. So, TurkeyBot's out. But it's a moot point anyway because it's the end of the round, so it's showdown time. And the RavenBot wins and wins the whole game because now has 4 tokens of affection. So RavenBot is our ultimate winner. So it might be worth thinking about what we could conclude from that. I think not much, to be honest with you. It certainly doesn't prove that the more analytical style of play is really the best. Notice every one of the bots got 1 token of affection, at least 1. And I've played test games with these bots where, I thought, TurkeyBot seemed like a terrible bot playing randomly like that. But sometimes it just does pretty well. And I think that's because this is a fairly random game. So much depends on the luck of the draw. It's possible to be out of a round before you even have a turn. So it's a very swingy game. So I don't think we've really said much in the way of proving that the more analytic holding back style is really better. In fact, I played a test game where Dovebot won 4 in a row and just swept the whole game. So I've seen that happen. Okay, anyway, the way it came down this time, though, was that RavenBot comes away the victor. Okay, so that's our Nullitaire playthrough of Love Letter. Except that I'd kind of like to play these bots against each other in a slightly different way. I was thinking, the 2-player game of Love Letter is really kind of a different experience. It's played slightly differently because you get to see more cards early in the hand. And the game is really sort of more just trying to knock one person out. And the choices are much more limited. So I was thinking it'd be interesting to play these bots against each other in a 2-player game. But since I have 4 bots, maybe what I'd like to do is a kind of tournament, between these 4 bots and see who comes out victorious in that. Okay, so that's what I plan to do next in this series. We'll run these bots against each other in a tournament-style play, head-to-head. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you again.